Good morning, freedom. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Ephesians 6:13. The women of freedom have spent the last few months learning about doubt, guilt, and fear. These things are not easy to share and are often heavy weights that walk with us during the day and sleep with us at night. There are a number of weapons that are available to deal with these emotions, and today I bring you the letter F for faith. The word faith is very frequently used in the Bible. It is not just a word or an action. It is the instrument of salvation. And if you have no faith, you have no religion. Hebrews 11:6 says, "But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." We cannot have faith in God and totally trust him without knowing him. We spend a lot of time getting to know those people and things that are important to us. When we meet someone new, most of us are a little uncomfortable until we learn about them or get to know them. If you move to a new city, you become fixated on learning the area and how to get around. If you purchase a new toy, be it a car, computer, appliance, a game, or a mobile phone for most of us, you spend countless hours familiarizing yourself with it. When you start a new job, you try to learn your responsibilities quickly, and you tend to draw closer to the person who makes themselves available to assist you when you get into a jam. The same applies to God. You won't know him unless you make it a priority to learn about him and engage in daily conversation with him in your life. The more time you spend with God, the more you will trust him in time of need. Pastor Fleming's taught us, first comes grace, then comes faith. We must believe in God's grace before we can expect anything from our faith. Ephesians 2:8 tells us, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and not of yourselves. It is the gift of God." Our salvation is solely by the grace of God. It may be a little hard to understand while you're in a storm, but our struggles and challenges are like vitamins from God. They don't always taste good, but they are actually good for us. James 1:3 says, "Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience." This is the reason for our trials. When we have illnesses and ailments and the doctor tells us there's nothing he can do, your faith is being tried. When our efforts on our jobs are not good enough and we actually train our replacements, your faith is being tried. When we can't find a job, your faith is being tried. When you doubt that your money will get you to the next payday, that is the trying of your faith. When our children get into situations that shackles them, when the legal system lets us down and we don't know enough or have enough money to fix it, our faith is being tried. Through our sorrows, we must know that God has permitted these things to happen for his goal, and something is being worked out in our lives. Not only is something being worked out in our lives, but he is giving us a story. Some of us have short stories. Some have stories that cross several chapters. Some are sad stories. Some are scary stories. Some are happy stories. But at the end of the story, a wonderful thing happens. God reveals himself to us. He allows us to feel his presence and see his grace. You don't know my story. You don't know the things I've come through. You cannot imagine the pain and trials I've had to endure. In all, God has been faithful to me. He promised he would never leave me. My story proves that God can use me. Deliverance is my testimony. You don't know my story, the anguish and the guilt that consume me. Grateful I can tell it. No more shall the shackles condemn me. You don't know my story. For if you did, you would lift up your hands. So just let me tell you, by faith, you might as well break out and dance. God of mercy, he who loves me, Oh, how wondrous is my story. Can't imagine what I've gone through. Life and favor upon me, he brought me out. By grace, through faith, thank God I have a testimony.
Some people have seen where God has brought you from. You don't really understand it. They don't know your story.
You don't know my story. You don't know
the things.
You don't know the things that I've come through. You cannot imagine. Pain, the trials I've had to endure. You don't know my story. You don't know the day he
I was at my lowest point.
You cannot imagine the strongholds and the walls that sever. But God has been faithful. Oh, God has been faithful to me. He promised he would never leave me. My story proves that God can use me. Deliverance is my testimony. You don't know.
My story.
Thank God I have a testimony.